And we all know the power of brands, that brands are critical, and the ability to build brand differentiates a marketer from a trader. A trader just trades in the item, in the commodity. A brand person does more than just trading. You know, aside the values built into the brand, consistently, a brand person starts to add a lot of values to the brand. And once you do that well, you just not only are able to sustain the business, you're also able to premiumize, like we say, you know. And we started looking at diverse elements to this. Right, I'm not going to delve into it until we do a few more. Yeah, there are some recognitions. I'm seeing a few friends, I just can't even get into that so that we don't take too much time. Right, so we started, we had explored, we've discussed brand itself, what it is to have a brand, and I think I started that off some months ago. If you didn't listen to that, would you be kind to go on YouTube, and then it's there, you can listen to that. And afterwards, we also had one or two other people discuss with us, taking different levels or different angles to branding. And all of those are there on YouTube. And today, we have with us a veteran, honestly. We have with us a veteran, right? Okay, and I'm still thinking that before I bring in Nkechi, let's even see ourselves, who and who is here. Come on, who and who is here? Yes, Kunle Arofin, thank you, I see you. Yes, because your video is on, so I can see you. I'm seeing quite a number of people. Yes, there you are. Welcome, everyone. Kunle has run away now. That's fine, right? Everyone who is here, thank you for being here. You are welcome, most welcome. Nkechi, I'm going to need you to come in your video now. All right, so we can come back in the room fully. Thank you. And thank you for all of those who's come in and you've introduced yourself, who you are, what you do, where you work. That's really very important. That's really very important. That's really very, very important. Right, so I'm going to have to, yes, bring in Nkechi. My goodness, oh my goodness, this lady remains like this forever, forever. I've known her over a decade, if not two. She's just like this always. I don't know. She's a PR veteran, so she's doing some work, personal PR. We are going to, after this session, we're going to hold her by the side and say, tell us, baby, this grandma, can you imagine looking like, you know, I like it. Nkechi, thank you. So I'm going to quickly introduce to us formally who she is. So you really know that we have a big fish in the house today. Indeed, when I told my GM, who is also a PR guru, and Nkechi is come and say, wow, you got Nkechi, that's a good one. I'm saying, she's my sister now, why not? So please, as Nkechi speaks to this subject matter, you need to keep all your questions ongoing so we can really ask and get a clarity. Many people don't understand what PR is. Once they hear public relations, some people may think, okay, yes. Once you hear PR, what comes to mind is something, something, something. I don't want to preempt. All right, so let me come in the room. You know, I normally like engagement. Because I like to talk.
Get the best position.
Thank you, sweetie. That's fine. So in the room, if you are in the room, please, please, please. This is, you don't know, you may just go away with a car gift here today. All right, come in the room quickly. When you hear PR, please, what comes to mind? What comes to your mind? I trust you. I know you are my client. You are my people. You are my people. You will know, darling. You will speak today. Come on, go ahead. Whatever it is, no question is wrong. No answer is wrong. Don't mind. Please come in. When you hear the term PR, what comes to mind? What comes to your mind when you hear PR? Thank you, Obina says public relations. Thank you, Obina. PR is public relations. Thank you, Obina. Yes. What else comes to mind? What kind of meanings, what interpretations, what elements, what thoughts, what ideas, what icons, what feelings, whatever. Thank you. Image management. Nkechi, love it. Thank you. Image management. Nkechi says, image management comes to mind when you hear PR. Yes. Who else is there? Yes, you're all there. You're typing, you're writing. Go ahead. Go ahead. Nothing is wrong. It's just your thought. It's your opinion. Yes. When you hear PR, thank you, look, there you go. Egunje comes to mind. You see, PR, is PR. I have to do my PR. I have to do my Egunje. What else comes to mind? I'm loving this. I'm loving this. Thank you. Two more thoughts. Yes, public principles of relation. Okay. Adebukola, reputation management. Kelechi, yes, thank you. And one more. Brand reputation, bribe. Ibuko says bribe, reputation, bribe. Okay, all right, thank you. You guys, you see, Nkechi, you see, today you are going to educate us. Let's know this thing, PR, yes. Right, personal wrongs, my goodness. So when I hear PR means personal wrongs. Okay, thank you, Josephine. Right, so let me formally introduce you to our speaker today, who is going to do justice to this and just help us to know how to do PR and what PR is about. Nkechi Ali-Balogun is one of the leading public relations experts in Nigeria. And she's a multi-talented industry veteran for over 25 years. Like I said, I've known her for a couple of years, actually, and she's a professional in the area of client services and public relations consultants. She holds a first degree in education, English education, a master's degree in mass communication, and of course, a postgraduate diploma in marketing. So you see, mass comm, marketing, education, all wrapped together in one. Beautiful woman. She's attended public relations management courses across all over the world. Really, that is expected. Would you have to mute yourselves if you're not in here? Otherwise, we mute everyone. But for now, yes. Okay, so I was just running you through the profile of our today's speaker. This is Nkechi Ali-Balogun. She's currently a doctoral research candidate at the University of Lagos. That's really exciting. Of course, she's been at prestigious Lagos Business School. You would expect that, yes. Now, Nkechi's won lots of awards. When I was reading and putting, I'm like, oh my goodness, this one. But I need to let you know, so when you listen to her, you know she's speaking from experience, expertise, recognition all around the world, and for all this time she's been in this profession. First female to receive the prestigious PR Golden Eagle Award as the most outstanding public relations practitioner from the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. She was one of the recipients of the Red Media Living Legend Industry Awards in 2015 for West Africa, actually. And she was honored with the coveted African Women Leaders Organization, AWLO, as the phenomenal woman of worth, in 2018. 2018 also, she was awarded the Female Public Relations Personality of the Year by NIMCA. In 2020, precisely, she was listed by the Guardian newspaper as one of the leading women in public relations and marketing across Africa. In 2021, she again was listed as one of the 50 most inspiring Nigerian women by Business Day newspaper, and also recognized as the most inspiring public relations personality 2021 by Nigerian. So, to be honest, you can't count 3 people, 4, 5 in Nigeria, women, public relations. You won't mention Nkechi Ali-Balogun, forget it. You go, make you go look your record very well. Let me break it down. This is PR. We have to connect because right here, entrepreneurs are here. Entrepreneurs, where they do thorough but then they here, but they are making money. So I can free to go, we go whichever way across the spectrum, okay? She's a fellow and a member of the Governing Council of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. She's a senior member of the African Public Relations Association, APRA. Nkechi is also an active member of the, you will expect that PRCAN, what we call PRCAN, Public Relations Consultant Association of Nigeria, and a founding member of the Association of Corporate Affairs Managers of Banks. I thought by now you're already welcoming her. I thought by now you already be saying, welcome, please, welcome this woman, make welcome. She's the founder and convener of the foremost annual PR Roundtable, Nkechi Public Relations Roundtable. Now it's in its 21st edition. Nkechi is the founder and anchors of Chat with NAB, a 15-minute social media talk show on life skills. Of course, Nkechi is married with a daughter, and she is the CEO, MD, and a senior consultant at Nkechi Nigeria, Nkechi Global, whatever. Anyway, we are making welcome Nkechi Ali-Balogun. Nkechi, you're most welcome. Thank you for being with us. we're really grateful that you are here today. Nkechi, yes.
Thank you so much. I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
Okay. You know, when I hear the rendition of my profile like that, I get frightened because you put me on the spot. I hope I have what it takes to deliver and live up to my brand. It's afternoon here. Good afternoon, everyone.
Thank you.
I'm so glad to be here. I'm so delighted to be here. I want to thank Redwood Consulting, especially my sister, Hannah, a lady I respect so much. She's my mentor, my spiritual mentor. I admire her. She has energy, she has warmth. She's somebody you want to know. I'm so glad I'm here. Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you for the confidence you have in me. And I pray I'll add value to your brand.
Yes, thank you.
I saw some people I know, maybe by name. I think Arufin must be the husband of Mr. Arufin Temple. Good afternoon. Yes. I see some names that I know. Thank you so much. At this point, would you like to share my screen?
Right, please. Okay, just a second. All right, thank you.
While we are sharing the screen, I'm very, the definitions you gave or the things you said about PR is quite amazing. But I'm not surprised if you didn't mention bribe, if you didn't mention, what other thing did you call it? Running something personal runs or whatever. Eguje.
Yes.
If you didn't mention those ones, then I would have been in trouble because that means that I'm not talking to the right people. But really, some of these misconceptions about public relations is the reason somebody has said brown envelope. It has not turned to white and then green. You know, so some of these misconceptions that we have about public relations is the reason why a lot of organizations are suffering because they don't really know what public relations is all about. And you won't blame them. It's because of the way public relations, you know, evolved, especially in Nigeria, from press agentry to what we have till now. And some organizations, even their CEOs are not interested. They don't want to know. All they know is that when they want something to happen, to facilitate a difficult problem, they say, go and do PR. And then they do that PR and things happen. Actually, what you have done is damage your brand without you knowing. So when you do a business relations or business facilitation, it is not public relations.
Wow. Wow.
So gaining from public relations, the first step is for you to really understand what public relations is all about. Until you understand what PR is all about, you will not gain anything from it. So that first step is knowing what PR is all about. If you know what PR is all about, even on your own, you can now delimit or carve out the areas you want and how you want the role public relations should play in your organization and how far you want to go with PR. Next slide, please. Now, what is public relations? Public relations is a management function. Why is it a management function? The PR person has to be there from, or do you want me to share the slide myself? Are you having issues with sharing the slide?
No, actually, it's like, yes, the slide is coming now. Okay. The secretariat want to share. I was going to share. So it's like we all want to share. But
okay. No, I was afraid of my audio. You know, I'm not around. I left my speaker. So there's so many things not with me. So I thought in case there would be a problem, it's better you share from your end.
That's right. Even though, I'm so sorry to say this, even though really it will be stronger for you to share, because then you can move your slide as to when
okay,
you
then
want
let
to.
me share. Let me share. If there's a problem, I will always cry out to you.
Okay, so Tim, can you stop sharing so that she shares? I always like to share when I'm running a program.
I always like to share myself too.
Absolutely.
So while I'm doing that, where is my... Okay, because I was not sharing.
Right.
Let me open the
presentation.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. While that is ongoing, Nkechi already told us, say brown envelope not be it, a good not be it. And she said something that's really, really strong. It says, each time you do that, you've done damage to your brand. Come on, that's copy. Man, you've done damage to your brand. Every time you do that. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yes, because perception is key. Once you do that, you're also branding your organization as an organization without integrity.
Wow.
So you might think that you have done a business, you have been smart. No, you have actually dented your own image by your own self.
Wow. Wow.
And that is why in some countries, we are having issues. Nigeria is having issues because they see us as people who don't want to do the work, but people who believe that, oh, there's a price for everything. Wow. All right. So image reputation is not a short-term thing. It's a long-term conversation that has aggregated, you know.
Nkechi, please, can you do slideshow?
Yes, I can, but I think, is it on slideshow now?
No, not yet.
Yeah, at the small lap thing I have here. It cannot
okay.
slideshow, yeah.
That's fine, not a problem. Okay, let's go. It's fine. Thank you.
All right, all right. So it's a very, very critical matter, you know, and that is why they say that when you point one finger at people, you don't know the other ones are being pointed at you. So like we said, PR is a management function. Why is it a management function, or why should it be a management function? Management function in the sense that a PR person who will convey your messages, who will communicate who you are, must always be there from inception, from the beginning, so that he knows what the problem and the issues are. And then his thoughts and whatever he does must align with the CEO's vision, with the corporate vision. And so at no given time must there be a problem. PR involves anticipating, analyzing, and interpreting. And then you ask, what are you anticipating? What are you analyzing? What are you interpreting?
Sorry to interrupt you. Sorry to interrupt you, Nkechi. Are you moving your slide? Because it isn't moving at my end.
Wow.
You are still on slide 1 at my end. And I guess you're already moving, right?
I am moving. Okay. Let's do this.
Okay, maybe I then can have the secretariat.
Yeah, please, because I know.
Okay, Timothy, please go ahead and share. Nkechi is going to get out now, and then you can share.
Please let me get out, because I don't want this thing to. Okay, am I the one? Okay.
No, I think this is now. Can you go back to slide 3 or 4? I think Nkechi is around slide 3, 4 or so.
No, this place is fine.
This place is fine? Okay.
Yes.
Good.
Okay. So, like I said, what are we anticipating? What are we analyzing? What are we interpreting? You anticipate reactions. You analyze trends and you interpret them. Why do you need to analyze trends? You need to analyze trends to know how it's going to affect your organization. I will come to that later. Then you want to counsel management. Public relations is in the business of counseling. In fact, that is the highest thing that we do, that of counseling. We do a lot of research, we conduct, and we evaluate. And of course, this goes to show that there's going to be a lot of tools being used. Then planning and implementation. Public relations is very, very interesting in planning and implementation. Yes, public relations is research conduct and counseling. Yes, it's very critical. If you don't know how to do research, you cannot create content, and I don't know what you'll be counseling. Planning and implementing is another major area of public relations. The organization's effort to influence or change public perception, setting objectives, planning, budgeting, recruiting, training of staff, developing facilities. As we go on, you see how this will be brought in alignment to your corporate vision. Next slide, please. I love this definition of public relations. It says it is the art and social science of analyzing trends, predicting their consequences, counseling organizational leaders, and implementing programs of action, which will serve both the organizations and the public interest. I will give you an example. I'm not going to dwell so long on some of this because of time. I don't know how many of us saw what Fanny Kayode wrote about, what do they call them now? The people who follow Obi, or I think they have a name, okay? And he was as a now member of APC. He's warning or he's counseling his party that, hey, this is what is happening. This is the trend. We are saying that these people don't have structure. If you are not careful, if you don't do something fast, if you are not strategic, you are going to find yourself in crisis. Now, pardon me, I'm not a political. All I'm trying to do is to be trendy. These are trending matters. So what he has done, he has been able to analyze the trends. And he has been able to predict consequences. And now he's counseling. Let's take the time of NSAS. The public relations effort will be that management will be counseled to have a plan B. The way these youths are going, there might going to be some strike. If there is strike, we won't be able to go out. And if we are not able to go out, how will staff work? What are we going to do? What are the other things? In what areas can we make sure that so things are put in place? All right, that is the major job of a PR person. Unfortunately, because we have leaders who don't listen to their workers, the job of the public relations person is very limited and difficult. Most times the CEO comes with his own ideas. The CEO comes with the idea of, hey, my own PR means media. Just make sure I'm in the front of the pages of the newspaper. But your public relations person knows that you have not done anything to warrant your being on the pages of the newspaper. Because public relations is not about making awareness. We create impact, we create values, and those values are the things that bring about the awareness. I'll say that again. Public relations is about making impacts and creating values. And it is these impacts and values that bring about the awareness. So I put you on the first page of Guardian newspaper, for instance, and people see it. They are looking for what you have done. Why are you here? And then you look stupid, but you are happy, but people are laughing at you, laughing at your organization. Say, every time this man is on the front page of newspaper, but what has he done? Nothing. Nothing. And then the next time they see you, say, oh, he's there again. Please, I don't know why so newspaper keeps putting this man when he has nothing to offer. But if you were a thought leader, Let's take a case, for instance. You remember when South Africa had this xenophobia case? Airpiece. A lot of people probably don't use Airpiece. Airpiece went to South Africa, brought back Nigerians free of charge.
That's right.
Has it created value? Of course. Has it made an impact? Of course.
Yes.
Was there awareness? Everybody was talking about Airpiece.
That's right.
So that publicity was earned. You didn't have to pay for it. And because of that, you remember there was a case that came immediately after that initiative. Something about him not paying money in the US, blah, blah, blah. But nobody cared because the kind of social responsiveness from them was such to cover any other faults they had. That is the power of public relations. Next slide, please. What is a brand? A name, a term, a design, a symbol, a product, any other feature that identifies one seller's good or service as distinct from those of other sellers. I'm a brand, and so are you. Hannah is another brand. You can see Hannah and I will wear short hair, okay? But then, even within the short hair, something still differentiates us. I lock mine, Hannah doesn't. So we are two different brands, but something is there to distinguish us. A brand is a tool that is employed by all businesses to create a clear-cut distinction between them and their competitors. It serves as the organization's spokesperson and determines consumer perception. Now, when we say it serves as organization, it gives the company a human face and a voice. Because once you see this brand, something comes to your mind. There's a reality, there's a picture in your head that this is who these people are. So a brand can actually be a spokesperson. Next slide, please. A brand is what you stand for in the minds of your customers. Many a time we think we are, but at the end of the day, we are not. So many things we think we are. Even in our relationships, we have this overrated image of ourselves. We have not done any perception audit. We have not done any survey to find out who we really are. But anyway, you are a brand because there is something your customers, your stakeholders, people you have relationships with know about you. Next slide. Now we go on to branding. Thank you, Hannah, when you started with trying to differentiate between branding and a brand. A brand is the product itself. Branding is the process of trying to build a strong brand. Now, what is branding? Next slide. It is, okay, there's a chart there. Okay. It's a marketing practice of creating a name, a symbol, a design that identifies and differentiates a product from other products in the market. You can see all these products, Coca-Cola, MTN, Guinness, they are all brands. But you don't make the mistake of calling Coca-Cola MTN. The reason being that they have a logo, they have an icon, a brand icon, they have a symbol that differentiates them. And then when we now go further, you find that they have a behavior, they have a culture, they have a personality, all right? These are the things that differentiates them and makes them a brand. Next slide, please. It is a story that captures the minds and gains the behavior. It captures the minds. A lot of us, a lot of Nigerians, for instance, they don't know, they've not been abroad, they don't even know mind you. They don't know what. I'm not a football fan, forgive me. They don't know they don't know Arsenal. But they are here in Nigeria fighting over them. Why? Because these people have been able to build up their brands in such a way that they've been able to capture people's minds. It used to be called a unique selling. It gone beyond unique selling to emotional selling. And even today we have a me selling. So the more they personalize it, the more they capture the minds of people and determine the way they will behave. So branding is the art of aligning what you want people to think about your company with what people actually do think about your company. Next slide, please. Next slide. Well, this is my own working definition. At the end of the day, I always like to break it down. It's subject to discussion anyway. Simply put, for me, branding is how you want to be seen, how you want people to describe you, how you want people to relate with you based on what you have done and how they have seen you do it. It is a process. It is an experience, unique, emotional. It is about how well we are able to tell our stories. Forgive me, I'm going to use an analogy that Christians here may relate with. But even then, the good book says, everything we know about God, for instance, we know he's loving, he's passionate, he can heal, he can do so, and so. Then came a brand called Jesus Christ, who now comes to verify everything we know about the brand God. You know, there's a song they say, well, anywhere he goes, he was doing good. Almighty Father healed the leper. So Jesus came and he was creating value. And every value he created resonated with what we know about the bigger brand God. Wow. So public relations, yes, about the bigger brand God. When you talk about love, he verified it. When you talked about passion, he verified it. So PR, public relations, should actually be like a verification tool for every brand. In other words, whatever story you tell must be a verification of what your brand has promised, the essence of your brand, the proposition of your brand. So, yes, so that is the way I see branding and PR. Well, we still have a lot to talk. Next slide, please. You have heard image is everything. Okay, open. Image is everything. Whether we like it or not, image is everything. Most times, why CEOs miss it? They tend to want to equate intangibles with tangible, but they forget that there are some intangibles that you can never put a price on, and that is image. How much do you pay for goodwill? What is the price of goodwill? But the price of goodwill is such that your bottom line is affected. Your reputation, especially when you are managing crisis, that is when you know that intangibles can become a very big tangible, can metamorphose into tangibilities that will enable your organization to sail through and also increase your bottom line. 1 minute, please. You can switch on the AC. Okay. Next slide, please. Brands do not fall from a tree. It doesn't fall from a tree, and it's not a wish. It's not something you wish could happen. It's intentional, it's deliberate, it's planned, it's strategic. Brands evolve through strategic and consistent communication processes of the marketing communication mix, of which PR is one of them. It's a collective effort, but PR happens to play a major effort because of the kind of activities that we're involved in. Now, such internal and external messages about the brand must align with the brand's essence and propositions and must communicate the following core areas: your values, the organization's core values, what it is and what it stands for. Who is Nkechi Ali-Balogun? What does she stand for? All right. And then every communication, every messaging must align with those things I say I stand for. I cannot say I'm a Muslim and the next morning you see me praying the Catholic rosary. Or I say I have told people that I don't smoke, and all of a sudden you see me sitting in one corner, I am smoking. There is no alignment. So my values there becomes dented, and integrity and trust issues come in immediately. Our behaviors, how the organization interacts with internal and external stakeholders. This particular line takes me like 3-4 days or even weeks to talk about, because most times we ignore a segment of our stakeholders, and that is the internal stakeholders. All what we concentrate on are the external stakeholders. Oh, the media, oh, the chairman of, oh, that, you know. But we forget that charity must always begin at home, that your foot soldiers, your best endorsers are your workers. Once they buy into whatever vision you have, you are good to go. Positioning, what an organization wants stakeholders to think about the brand. Identity, your names, your logo, your visual standards, your verbal themes. I have seen, when I was working in the bank in those days, we had almost sued somebody who worked for us because our color was processed blue and he used royal blue. And we're trying to correct him and he refuses. Then we too refused to pay him because we needed our processed blue. Those are the things public relations does. They also do that, the job of a watchdog, making sure that your identity, your positioning, your behaviors, your values, everything are intact and there is an alignment. Next slide, please. Now, this is a very simple diagram that helps me. I actually got it from a book I was reading, and I thought it will help what I'm talking about. All three circles are components of what contributes to good performance and reputation. And in the middle there you can see employee alignment. A good brand in hand with a winning culture and performance enhancing behaviors all create good employee alignment. This leads to significantly improved business results that builds a solid reputation. You cannot have a good reputation if you are not doing well financially and ethically. You cannot. Reputation is all encompassing of your statement of account, your financial standing, your values, your thought leadership, your corporate social responsibility. All these make up a good and strong brand. And you need a professional and well-equipped public relations department to guide you, counsel you, and lead you to becoming a very strong brand. So I'm sure as we are talking now, some of you will see where you'll be having issues. Oh yes, you are doing so well, but When you go out, people don't know you. People don't relate with you. That is because you've not actually been engaging your stakeholders or engaging those who matter, and you have not been communicating your brand, because it's all about messaging. It's all about what you want people to know, what you are doing, how you are doing it, who you are, and the values. I mean, life is all about values. When people know your standing, they know whether to respect you or to disrespect you. They know whether to trust you or to distrust you. They know whether to do business with you or not. And that is where the issue of goodwill comes in. Next slide, please. The role of organizational public relations today is expanding and changing, aligning with the rapidly changing business environment and consumer behavior. You'll agree with me that consumer behavior has gone haywire because they are more sophisticated. They have variety of products. They know what they want. And then the environment is changing. Today, dollar is high. Tomorrow, it's scarcity. You know, so many things. It's not just rapidly changing, it's turbulent in some areas. Public relations doesn't just focus on your business products. No, we don't. We actually go beyond your products. We try to shape our messaging, all right? So we assist in shaping strategic messaging that will help your product. So our focus is not just your product. Our focus is how your product is received, how the community, even the people, the producers, how they relate with the community. What is it doing in the community? So it's beyond you bringing a product into the community and thinking, yes, I have this product. Again, sometimes the people behind the product matter. The people behind the product matter. I remember a few years ago when one of these brands, Elizabeth something in the US, and we're told that she's a Satanist. Immediately, all the things I bought, yes, even people like me, all that brand I bought from, all her brand, I just started giving them away. I don't want to buy anything from anybody who is a Satanist. So the public relations department, of course, started coming to give some messages. Today, somebody like Beyonce, some people don't listen to her anymore. As immediately they heard that she's Illuminati, all right? So even though she's a well-known brand, but because of that thing, that message, that value, that culture that do not resonate with certain people, you find that in certain areas should be denied. I think somebody is trying to come in, a Ginger AK. Next slide, please.
Yes.
What is the role of PR in branding? I think actually in my discussion, I have finished talking about the role of PR in branding, but let's put them in proper perspectives. I will categorize them into two. One is creator of the narrative. If you must do public relations, you must have a narrative. You must have a content. You must have something you want to tell. Otherwise, you just be beating about the bush. Then the purveyor of the medium for which to sell the brand. You must have a channel. You must have a medium. You must have something that will carry whatever. Please, in terms of time, so is that question for me?
Don't worry, just go ahead. We'll crop all the questions together.
Okay.
Afterwards, yes.
So the creator of the narrative and the purveyor of the medium. If you don't have anything to sell, I wonder why you'll be looking for a medium to sell it. So these two categories now will help you to go into, to carry out whatever functions, whatever roles you want to play. because you must create the narrative that will align with whatever initiative, whatever ideas, whatever campaigns, whatever strategy you want to carry out. And then you must also identify with the purveyor of whatever you want to communicate to your community or your stakeholders. Next slide, please. The two roles must focus on the following strategic activities. Consumer engagement. Thank God for COVID. I think consumer engagement has become very key and become increasingly important, and people actually realizing that they need to engage their customers. The companies or brands' efforts to build relationships with individuals through personalized interactions on multiple channels with the goal of gaining and retaining loyal customers. You know, I'm happy these days, you know, you just sit in your home and the bank will send you happy birthday, or they'll send you some messages. All these are consumer engagements. Or they let you know that, oh, if you click on so, you will get so, that, you know, they're letting you know the best way to use. All these are consumer engagements. All right, so a public relations person must come up with narratives, all right, that will enhance this consumer engagement and also identify the best medium to communicate these narratives. Brand endorsements, the use of celebrities to certify a brand's claim. Referrals. Another thing we do not know is that our internal audience, they are very, very important brand endorsers. Our word of mouth, it's a very powerful endorsement. Best referral you can ever find. Sometimes you are in a hotel lobby, people are talking about a brand, and you say, oh, really? You know, and that is it. Unfortunately, brand endorsements in Nigeria, I don't think we are being as strategic as possible. In Nigeria, we think that once you are an actor, yes, a well-known actor, you can be an influencer or a brand endorser. But we forget that your character, your value as a brand must align with corporate vision. There was, I'm not going to name names, there was a time a name was mentioned for an agency I was working for, that the person wants to be a brand, they want to use the person as a brand endorser. And I said, in the first place, you are a family company, an FCMG, all you relate with, all you do with, everything you do is with family. And then the product you are bringing out is a product for family. And they all have to be together. And you want to use somebody who has been married 5 times. And then they say, oh, but then, oh, she has how many million followers? I said, doesn't it, your follower, and that's another thing. The fact that you have 4 million followers does not really mean that you have an impact. That's a different thing entirely. Your followers does not necessarily make you a big influencer. Anyway, that's a talk for another day. Corporate brand management, very key. Making sure that your brand is communicated consistently by all your stakeholders, your employees, your customers, your shareholders, and others. It is making sure that your brand is clear, that branded content follows your guidelines, and that there are no stretched logos or inappropriate imagery associated with your brand, including monitoring and analyzing trends, media relation, stakeholder management, crisis and crisis communication management. All these must align. So whatever narratives you are also coming up must align with whatever goal you have in managing your corporate brand. Of course, you have the brand social responsibility. consumers' perception of the extent to which a brand reflects the human values related to social responsibility. Your values, what you think about the environment, what you think about the poor, how you relate to the community where you work. All these are under your brand social responsibility. Unfortunately, a lot of organizations in Nigeria are yet to really practice brand social responsibility because we are not able to distinguish between promotion and social responsibility. Social responsibility, for it to have value, must be sustainable, and it must bring about some form of development or the other. Next slide, please. So in concluding, a brand's identity is determined by how the market perceives it. A brand is the reality you have in your head about a product. A brand is a story well told. Advertising bolsters brand recall, but public relations builds its image. A business missing out on PR is missing out on a wide spectrum of opportunities. As skilled relationship builders, public relations practitioners are highly proficient in the art of the two-way conversation, and as such, bring significant value to a branding initiative. Public relations can help make a brand connect with its stakeholders in a more holistic way, in a wide range of activities. The task of public relations is not to echo the marketing message. No, it is to build on it through a range of stories that might involve local relationships, marketplace innovations, and corporate responsibility and business results. PR should connect the dots between the product and citizenship, workers and community relationships. Next slide. I think I have just 2 more slides and I'm done. Next slide, please.
Thank you.
Next slide. So managing the area of public relation opportunities requires a disciplined approach. This is what makes Coca-Cola to be ahead of most of these brands, because they follow a disciplined approach. They have a team of public relations professionals that are linked through technology that is fully aware of what brands' position and message are on scores of issues. For instance, when people started saying that Coca-Cola leads to diabetes, their team were ready with answers. Immediately, they responded. They came up with Diet Coke. So it became your choice. And then they had messages for children. Well, you can drink water, you have other varieties. So it now became your choice, whether you wanted the sugar-filled one or the Diet Cola. They're always ready. Constant dialogue and examination of local issues, which can become global issues. There are some local issues. It just starts very little like that. So a public relations department will tell you, because they have analyzed the trend, they are able to make predictions and counsel managers to say, I think we have to stop it there. Because if we don't, this will be the repercussion in future. Or it might attract some global issues that we may not be able to handle. A clear understanding of major media perceptions and relationships. An understanding of the linkage between marketing and public relation objectives, so that there won't be clash. You see, marketing and public relations will have a lot of synergy, but a good PR department must understand this synergy and know their boundaries. So even with HR, they must be able to know their boundaries and at the same time, know when to collaborate and how to collaborate. Consistent image and messages wherever they are to appear, from the annual report to a report on citizenship to regional employee publications. A redesigned intranet site highlighting continuously updated facts and corporate points of view on complex issues. Next slide. I hope it's the last, yes. The final. Public relations gives legs and life to brand attitudes and the essential brand promise by telling credible stories and providing support for the truth of a brand's advertising images. This is all the more important in an evolving media and business environment. Although public relations is used for a wide variety of purposes in organizational communication, that of the representation of the organization, its goals, and its understanding has been increasingly influential with publics. This has become increasingly important given the marketplace transition to consumer-driven conversation economy characterized by two-way conversations between consumers and between consumer and organization. Moreover, with increase in social media, social consciousness, you agree with me that a lot is happening online. And if you are not there, I mean, like somebody was telling me, I'll never be in social media, I don't like it. I said, this is not a question of you liking it. It's a question of you wanting to survive. So increasing social consciousness among consumers who now place more emphasis on what an organization is about, rather than simply what the organization produces in the form of service and products. People are not just interested anymore in the products you are bringing about. Oh, this bank, is their MD not so and so, God forbid? Is that not the MD that puts the staff in the family way? They say yes. They say no. I don't do business with such banks. So social media now allows them. You are in the open. We have what we call citizen journalists. So they don't wait for you. It's no longer a one-sided communication. It's a receiver. What do you call a receiver conversation? So they are not waiting for you. They already have it. Sometimes even before you have it, they already have it. Next slide. Next slide. Well, those are my references. I don't know if we have time. There's a video I sent you. I can't play video from here because I don't have my loudspeakers. It's just 3 minutes, if you don't mind.
All right, thank you very much, Nkechi. Yes, the video will be played. Admin is going to play the video now. Thank you so much. While we get admin on, would you please drop a few other questions if there are? Yes, there are a few questions already written, which we've noted. But we would watch the video and then Nkechi will. Good. Let me be quiet.
No sound?
I was wondering. Timothy, can you please take it back and then let's start again and then let's ensure you click for the sound. All right, I hope that should come on in the next 1 minute or so, hopefully. That's interesting. Any which way, that video is must watch. I tried to snip into it, but
we must watch it.
Oh yes, I snip a bit, but I'm like, okay, let me wait. Let me not, So yes, thank you, gentlemen and ladies, for coming, and thank you for listening. Don't worry, we'll soon be about rounding up as it is, but there are some questions. For those who joined late, oh my goodness, you missed. However, it's on YouTube. And then I'm sure by the time Nkechi answers the questions, you will glean a bit more. Right. Let's hope we get a feed audio on this.
Okay, while we are waiting for the audio. So for those of us who think or who thought that public relations is about bribery or about brown envelopes, I'm sure you now see that is a much more serious. Okay, beautiful. Thank you very much.
Wow.
I would have loved somebody to tell me what you think about the ad or what message you got from it.
Okay. Yes, please. Thank you, Nkechi. So the room is open. You are able to unmute yourself. I don't think we'll have too many. Yes, you have the permission to anybody. You may want to
raise your digital hand.
Yes, you may want to do that so that we don't have too many people speak at the same time. Anyone who's watched that small little clip and you got a message out of it, or you want to tell us, because some people might not have comprehended it to be true.
Oh yes.
I know. Anybody wants to tell us what you saw in that movie, that small one, and then any message? Yes. It's a PR marketing people. Thank you.
Okay, there's Okuri Boye Omobolanle.
Okay, so we got two people. Okay. Yes, Omobolanle, go ahead, and after you, Confidence. Yes, please. In 1 minute, please. Thank you. Omobolanle, go ahead, please.
Unmute yourself.
Sorry. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. I think they were trying to break the silence that was happening at that point. So Coca-Cola thought the best way was to make that cap that could only be opened by two people. So while we're opening it, we talk about Coca-Cola, then we get talking. That's what I got.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Confidence. Unmute yourself.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
What I could see from the advert is that it communicates to young people that an age bracket, and majorly those in high school, college, high school, and then it's a way of I think initiating friendship. That's what I perceived from the advert.
Fantastic. Well,
there are more hands on Nkechi. There's Jennifer, there's Kelechi, there's Jerry.
Oh, Jerry, of course. Oh yeah, Jerry. Jerry, you put the icing. You put the icing on the cake. Let's listen to Jennifer.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Jerry, you speak last.
Thank you. Jennifer first, Kelechi, and then Jerry.
Okay. Thank you and good afternoon to everyone. The little I gathered from this video is that aside the friendship that Coca-Cola seeks to establish, they also want to increase their sales, meaning that until you get 2 people buying each a bottle of Coke each, 1 bottle cannot open by itself. Thank you.
That's interesting. Good.
Okay. Kelechi. Oh, Kelechi, how are you? Kelechi is a friend of mine. He lives in the US.
Oh,
Thank
my
you
goodness.
for joining.
Mama, Mama, I'm a little bit under the weather, but irrespective, I really
Thank
appreciate
you.
this session. Nkechi Ali-Balogun has been a mentor. The way we met in the most random way, but everything has essence and everything happens for a reason. So the little ad is designed it provides basically a social value and an economic value. That's to show you how far PR can actually go. It shows that I feel like strategically, it might probably have happened during COVID or after COVID, just to see how people can actually still come together in a world that has been, troubled by a pandemic. Also, it's just like a one stone, two shot thing. There's no way you can actually open just a single bottle by yourself. You need an extra person to, help you open. So on that note, that's like a marketing advantage, showing you how PR can do that, and also showing you how PR can also enhance social engagement between people. I yield the mic.
Thank you very much. Well, Hannah, you know the time that we have. You know me, I'm on vacation. So.
All right. So before Jerry comes up, and then after Jerry, we then go into the questions. We'll just take 2 questions because we have to leave in another 15 minutes, everyone. We will leave. So please hang in with us. Thank you. Somebody, Mary Ezaga. Mary is an old-time friend. My goodness, this is a strong advertising stalwart. My goodness. Good to have you, Mary. And she says, I think it's such an ingenious ad, very clever and instantly forced to make friendship talk, Coke engage 2 people consumption. Thank you, everyone. Please go ahead and read. I think Benga also made another comment. All right. So, Jerry, quickly, let's have you. Then we'll take the question.
Okay, madam, good to hear you speak. I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
Okay, so good to hear you, ma. I really love to listen to you all the time, and that's why I made that time to join this session. Now, interestingly, that Coke advert you just played now, I just wanted to give a bit context to it. So, and it actually speaks to what you said earlier about PR being able to analyze trend.
Thank you.
So they discovered that freshers, so when you get into the university, because we are all coming from different backgrounds and all of that, they discovered that it takes some time for people to actually start engaging. So what they did, and that's what is when you talk about anticipation and being able to predict trend, they now decided that, look, let's do this particular design that will make people to engage. So if I want to open my bottle, I need somebody else who's bottle to also be able to play. And that actually presents a point of communication. So I think it speaks to what you said earlier about what PR does. It's engaging. It's about trend, looking at trends, and being able to anticipate what's going on around us. So that's my contribution. Although I have a question, but I'll leave that to later. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody that spoke to that video. You all did very well. But really, that's like Jerry said, that summarized everything I said about the role of PR. That of analyzing trends. You come to a campus, especially Oyibo campus. It's cold. The weather is cold. The people are cold. People mind their business. I think Nigeria, we are almost becoming like that, but I pray we won't get there in Jesus' name.
Amen.
So people don't, they don't care. They are indifferent. And then Coca-Cola says, how can we engage? That initiative was an icebreaker. That initiative promoted engagements, promoted relationship, promoted friendship, and then it now had a bandwagon effect. Other things came on, all right? It boosted the brand. In fact, people started even sales increased, And it became fun. It became fun. So if you bought one, you just see a guy you didn't want to talk, say, hey, can we do it? And then there you go. And I'm quite sure some people will even, because of that exercise, will go and buy Coke. So it's a story well told.
Yeah.
And you see, it didn't only sell the brand, it also engaged consumers. And then it created an ambience where studies will take place and the atmosphere is peaceful. And then it resonated with their slogan for that year, open happiness.
That's right.
So that is what PR does in essence. Thank you very much.
Wow, wow. Thank you so very much, Nkechi. Now, we'll take two of the questions. What I did was to try and I put the questions, I think Anita asked 2 questions and one other person asked a question. We'll probably take these questions are 4. We're going to take 2 only. All right. So the first one, Ma, please, can it not be paid for? Or when there is a big one-time event? I'm trying to understand the second part of the question, but I think the question here is, can you pay for PR? Can you, what is the element or what are the dimensions through which payments can be made around PR?
But what kind of payments now?
Okay. So good point. Whoever asked this question, I think it's Anita, are you still in the room? Do you want to clarify that? Or I say what I thought, what I think you were trying to ask?
Yes, please. Let me just shed more light. Good afternoon, Ma. Thank you so much. I've really enjoyed the session. What I was trying to ask is, you made a point that unless you have built some credibility, you'll never make the headline on newspapers. You will not get to be on the front page. So my question was, what if I deliberately want to pay and say, name your price, I want to be put on the front page of your paper on XYZ date? And then the other side of the question where I said a big event was, what if I'm not known, I haven't done anything, but I have this big event that also resonates with maybe the government or the mood of the people, and is a one-off event? Can that not catapult me to have a place on the front page from a PR perspective?
Oh yes, even from a media perspective, you can pay for certain things. There's what we call peso. You have a paid media. You have earned media. All right. Paid media allows you to put whatever you want to put in the newspapers and pay for it. Right. Earned media, because of the values you are creating and the impact you are making, you earn it, and so they carry your story. Okay, so yes, it can be paid for. Why not? But then people know the difference. And then, of course, if it's paid for, you are now going to determine your content and how it will go. But earned media, you don't determine the content, you don't determine how it goes, because it is earned. It's not something you paid for. Does that answer the question?
Yes, please. It does, Ma. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alisa. Thank you very much, Nkechi. All right. Let me take the third question first because of our time. How can a very small startup utilize PR even when how his or her customer strength is less than 20?
I think that is where a lot of people have issues. Public relations is not about how much money you have. Public relations is about you knowing what you want and how you want it. If you are strategic, you don't have to. It's not about budgets. High budgets. If you have a good professional, they can guide you. They can work within your budgets. I hear a lot of it, so we can't afford you. You can afford any PR experts. It's just for you to let them know your budget. In Nigeria, when you ask them, tell me your budget, they think that, if you tell them your budget is 20 million, you must make sure you collect that 20 million. No, it is to help them to guide, to come up with, to know the kind of work they will do for you, the quality, in terms of quality, in terms of reach, in terms of, it helps them, it's a guide. So for every organization, a PR expert can be there for you. So don't be afraid about costs. Just approach one and say, look, this is what I want. And then you can do it step by step, okay? And also, if you do that, what you gain is momentary. After the day you appear, somebody was saying something. Anyway, so you go step by step, all right? It might be aggressive, it might be conservative, but they should be able to guide you. I have a lot of organizations that I help. Some, they pay little or nothing, because if I compare the work I do for them with what they pay me, it's like nothing. So most public relations people, we do a lot of social responsibility. And sometimes we also refer you. We also give you a step-by-step guide that can also help you to do it yourself.
Wow.
So there is always a room for you.
Thank you very much. I think one more question. How we relate PR and corporate governance? I'm going to hold that. I'm not sure we'll have time. This question 2, we'll see if we can just take them. I want to skip the first one, how long it takes to achieve a certain image for a brand. Let me come to the second. It says, I also want your perspectives on some huge and bad events, some huge bad events. How does the brand restore its lost glory, right? It appears the public hardly forgets bad events or bad news, both for individual persons or corporate. You see that question? It's almost like, how do you...
That is why a good public relations experts or professional working with you must always remind the organization through its corporate governance that reputation is a perishable commodity.
That's right.
You can find everything you did for years, 100 years, crash in one day.
Come on.
It's perishable. So that means that you must be on top of your game. You must be analyzing trends. You must be following. Don't take things for granted and say, oh, we have the money, you can't do anything. Okay? A little thing. There's an example I would have given now, but it's political, so let me leave it. I'm just trying to remember one. What? Okay, like somebody saying that youth employment they don't have for, we'll conscript them into the army. What will they eat? Agbado and cassava.
Okay.
If you look at what the gentleman said, he wasn't really trying to talk down on youth, right? Yeah. I think maybe what he was probably saying was that we have cassava and agbado in excess, enough to feed our youth. But because he was not media, you see, most of our leaders, all of them, they are not media trained.
At all.
The public relations department goes to them and says, sir, you need to be media trained. He said, what do you mean? I can talk to the press? No, you can't talk to the press. Most of you don't have what it takes to talk to the press. And then you now go to the press, you goof. There is nothing, there's youth unemployment. They are angry. So it will take time before they will forgive that statement. It will take time. But then would they forgive? Yes. That means that you now have to strategically put in place some damage control. If they had a good public relations department, maybe they will even make him explain to the youth what he meant. Organize some other activities that will quell that particular scenario. All right? I mean, we have so many of them in Nigeria. The issue of lazy youth. So you now see why youths are behaving the way they are behaving. But because we have taken them for granted, nobody has taken the pains to do a damage control. So yes, it is possible to regain lost glory. It could take time, but then it has to be consistent and it has to be sustainable.
Right.
After all, Kigali today, everybody is referring to Kigali. If you go to Kigali and you go to the war, something there, you will shed tears. But nobody is remembering that anymore. They have done a lot of damage control. And the world is now rating them as a very reputable country. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you very much. Wherever you are, would you please celebrate this woman? Would you please help us? And I know a lot of people have come in the room, Nkechi, to say thank you. We enjoy it. It's fascinating, interesting, it's fun, it's that. Please, if you are still in the room, and I see you are still in the room, would you please be kind to come in and say big thank you? Let's give a shout out to Nkechi.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nkechi. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Redwood Consulting.
Thank you, ma. You're always a delight.
Love you.
Yes, there we go. Thank you. These are the people in the room today. It's fantastic. Thank you. Oh, we've almost seen some people we haven't seen in a long time. Thank you. Thank you all. Right, so back to Nkechi Ali-Balogun, my sweet sister. On behalf of all of us at Redwood and everyone who is joined wherever, from different parts of the world, and those who are still going to join, who are going to watch on YouTube, I just want to say thank you so much, my sister. Thank you. Short notice, you did justice, you're on vacation, but this vacation is sweet. Isn't she looking beautiful? You for just carry us, make we to come and enjoy, you know.
And the one you do remain now, I think.
Thank you very much. Thank you all for joining. Honestly, if Nkechi were here and you didn't come, it would have been difficult. It wouldn't have been fun.
Oh, yes.
Thank you for always being with us at Redwood Consulting. And by the way, this webinar is monthly. Next month, God willing, by the last Wednesday of the week, there's another webinar. Please just keep it dated. I'm sure if you were going to pay for this, you were going to pay. If you put this together and we ask you to pay, you know, you will pay a lot of money, but okay, so yes, but we're not doing that. The fact that it's free doesn't mean it's not valuable. This is a lot to bring Nkechi in. If she was going to facilitate this for us, we know how much we pay, but we are grateful because this is actually a CSR. We're not charging anything, no problem, but an intellectual thing has gone into this. People have learned. I'm sure you've gone with different, two of the notes I made, I said PR is a verification of your brand proposition of essence. So PR verifies and kind of, validates you. And you saw that advertising. That advertising for me, like Mary said, ingenious. Do you know PR is one of the functions, and disciplines that many people don't understand. For me, it's like the all in all, because you see within that thing, you saw advertising, you saw production, you saw technical, they made changes. You saw product formulation, more or less, all coming from a PR initiative. It's really awesome. PR is a fantastic tool that anyone should think to use, whether small or big agency or big organization, right? And she also spoke to goodwill. That's the last point. She spoke to the power of goodwill to say there's a price to goodwill. It might seem intangible, but it's convertible. That in essence, Nkechi is saying the tangibility is in the intangibility. When you hit the intangible properly, someday it's going to be converted and it becomes something, tangible you can handle. It's really very brilliant. Thank you very much, Nkechi. Right now, I do want to say thank you very much, everyone. It's on YouTube. Be kind to go on the YouTube channel and then like it and share it. Send to some other people, your colleagues, your junior managers, and your others. And thank you for all our friends in the house, PR marketing consultants, people, all of you, the gurus in the room. Thank you, everyone. And we want to say thank you. We hope to see you again next month, by God's grace. We're going to have in the house another professional. We'll be discussing something that relates to the power of branding again. On behalf of us all, Nkechi, once again, we say thank you very much. Do enjoy your vacation. Yes, and we'll be in touch. Thank you. You're muted, Nkechi, you're muted.
I seize this opportunity to invite you to my annual program,
Good.
PR Roundtable 27th October. I'll send it to you.
Fantastic, and I'll share it. It's our program, everyone in the room, 27th of October, yes. It's our program. We'll be there, Nkechi, get it, we'll be there. All right. Thank you, everybody, and let's do have a good day and good month in October. Thank you, Nkechi. Enjoy your vacation. Those on YouTube, thank you, and do have a good day. All right. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye for now. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, my people from Ghana and from Cameroon, God bless you all.